So we're in the middle of discussing classes, and one of the most important things you can know about a class is how to make and run methods. So that's what we're going to be discussing over the next day or so, how to make and run some methods. Okay, so I have a class I called building, and I have a method here called make a roof, and it's just a line going across because this is a skyscraper, so it's just a line for a building. And this is just going to make the roof. Notice this word void is here. That means it's not communicating with the client program at all. Remember, the client is the one that runs the method. So void means I don't need a return statement. So here. And there's no parameters in here, meaning there's no real information that I need to send this for this to run, because all it's doing is outputting a line. This one here, public static void, is the same, meaning there's no return information, but there is a parameter here. So if I want to make a skyscraper that's 15 floors high, then I can put a 15 in here. So this 15 is allowing me to communicate with the method. So the client program will run, I'll put a number in here, and it will make that many floors. This one right here is, say, a driveway. So I can run these methods in any order that I want. And just as a public service announcement, it doesn't really matter if I put this above or below the main, and it doesn't matter the order that I put these things in the least bit. So you can arrange your methods however you want them, and most of the time we won't even have a main in the program, so it won't even make a difference. Okay? So I can run this any way I want. So say I want to make my driveway. Okay, this is how you run the method. Now it's a void method, so that means that it's not returning any information. So to call it, all I do is have to say its name, make driveway, and that's it. And all I have then is the driveway that's going to be run. Okay, notice all my methods are up here. You can run them individually if you want, but I am going to do this, and there's my driveway. So if all I want is a driveway, I can do that. If I want to put my building, if I want to put my roof on the bottom and my driveway on the top, I can do that too. The order in which I write them is the order in which they run. How they're ordered here in the actual definition of these methods doesn't make any difference. Okay, what matters is the order that I call them. So if I make a driveway and then I make, I forget what I called it, floors. Okay, now notice if I run this, it's going to say I have a problem because I don't have anything here. Okay, but when I look at this method, make floors, it has a parameter here. So these parameters are important, and a value needs to be put in there, and it has to be an integer. So if I tried to put, let's say, 2.0, okay, it will have a problem. It's the lossy of conversion. And I could also ask a user, how many floors do you want? And I could put a variable here. So it doesn't necessarily, okay, and I could make this 3 floors. So whatever I put in here, it just has to be of the same type. So this is an int, so this has to be an int. So when I run that, I can have the driveway, make 3 floors, and then put the roof if I want. Make roof. Notice I do still, it is a method, so parentheses need to be put there regardless. Okay, it has no problem with it, even though this is a ridiculous little thing that I just did. So there's my driveway, my building, and then my roof. That's weird. So the order in which I call it is the order in which it runs. So I'm thinking that I'm going to take the roof and move it to the top. There we go. All right, so the roof, I'm going to have 3 floors and then a driveway. There's my roof, 3 floors, and a driveway. There's no door or anything, but that's besides the point. All right, so that's how we use our methods. We call them. To write them, we use the word public static void if we don't want anything returned. If we do, we put the type that we want returned. In this case, we don't want anything. The name, generally a verb, make, driveway, methods do things. Now, what's interesting is I don't actually need this in here to run it. Okay, well, obviously it's not going to run. There's nothing, there's no one calling it, but I could create a new class to use this. Now, these are all static. Public class. So I'm going to call this using, or let's call it testing building. So we have a class, and then we can create a tester class. Instead of having it right in the class with me, I could just put it right here. Now the problem with this is it doesn't know where this came from. So since it's not in the same exact piece of code, it's not right here, I need to tell it where to look. Okay, since these are all static, I can just use the word building. I don't have to create an object. That's the point. Okay, so if I want it to actually run, I have to tell it what to run. So I want it to go to building and then run the floors. Now you'll notice what happens is it creates this little arrow saying this is using stuff from here. So this is how I don't know why I just did this. This is why classes are so interesting and so useful, is because I can put all the information over here and just test it right there. Let me run. Hold on. All right, sorry. So that's the idea behind classes. Being able to run something that you didn't write. Okay, so maybe you didn't create this building, but you can run it over here. Because they're static, I don't have to create an object. But and then we'll discuss what it means to make an object in the future. All right, have a good day.